Yeah, hello, Mayor Karen.
Hello, John. Great to be back with you.
And you as well. And welcome to Right
Fucking.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have made that face. It's going to be a dumb face.
It's going to be a great face, Karen.
Okay, I like the way you think, John.
And if most of our followers are on Apple Podcasts instead of YouTube, they won't know your face.
They won't know my face.
But they could hop over to YouTube to see it. See how beautiful and perfect it is.
Well, it's not my face that's on display today, John.
What is on display today, Karen? Nice.
These, the girls.
Owning it. We got to have a little bit of controversy to stir the pot in this show. I mean, we named it Right Fucking Now.
We did. We can't be PG. Can't be boring.
Thank you for stirring the pot, as per usual,
You're
Karen.
welcome. You are welcome, John.
Karen, did you know circumstances don't matter, only your state of being matters?
Say more.
It's one of Bashar's most common lines, and it's one I draw the greatest amount of power from. And for the last couple weeks since we last met, I've really been focusing in on that idea. So when Bashar explains it, he notes that as per the actual structure of existence, circumstances do not create a being's state of being, but instead a being's state of being create the circumstances around them, right? As we're creators of our own reality. So I've really been holding that focus and intention as I go about the day and noticing how many times my external circumstance is evoking a state of being from me. And basically a state of being is like in a mood or just any type of emotional response. As Bashar defines it, any emotional response that's longer than about 16 seconds is starting to become a state of being. He acknowledges 16 seconds, very similar to Abraham, who says 17 seconds is the window for acknowledging, whoa, I have an emotion here. There has to be an out of alignment belief for me to look at. And then that's like the window to potentially like catch it or observe it or work with it before a continued focus will create a momentum, which will lead to circumstances that reinforce that emotion and that belief.
That's so true. And like Dr. Joe says, we can get addicted to these states of being without even knowing it. Like there's so many people, including me, right, who I'll say I don't like something, but I keep creating it over and over and over. Well, I might not like it, but there's some part of me that's addicted to it.
I love that you just said that, because what I've been observing in myself is what I've been doing for the last year or more. I'll see something and be like, oh, I don't fucking prefer that. I'm gonna go create the opposite. And then I realized that's actually like, there's a hidden belief behind there. And there was a belief like coding it, saying, just invalidate it by saying, I prefer something different. And it allowed me to hold on to the out of alignment belief and shift on to basically recycle that idea. So I'm looking at myself, if I look at something and I really have no emotional reaction and be like if someone's giving me a grape or a peach, I'll probably be like, I prefer the grape actually. I'm probably gonna just grab that first. But if the peach was only present, or if they're like, no, you gotta eat the peach, I'd be like, all right, like, doesn't really make a big difference. But with other things, I get really evoked with an emotion. And then I guess I could give an example, even though it's totally mellowed out with me. Say death, for example. Like when I was a firefighter, everyone's like, we gotta save as many lives as possible. And you'd be like, that's fucked up that people are dying. I can save their life. And it was this strong emotional reaction. So it wasn't, I prefer people to live. It was actually like, it's fucked up, people are dying. And there was a belief there. And the belief was when people die, they're gone forever. And now that I've recognized through all our teachings, this is all a game. We're infinite, indestructible, eternal beings. We're just shifting to realms and we can shift back in the game at any second. All of a sudden, like when people die, I'm like, okay, they die. Or people survived, okay, they survived. Like they're always here, they're always present. There's no emotional trigger there. So I'm seeing huge power in that preference, in no longer hiding behind preference when that emotion comes up. Like I was telling you before, I sit down, I stop, and I do one of Joshua's manifestation event forms, or just sit with Bashar's concept. What would I have to believe is true here in order to get this reaction, and like work with it right there?
Yeah, that's super cool. I love that you're able to do it like in the moment, because that's where like you always talk about the point of power, that's where it is. It's like where you can actually influence what's happening and actually get to it before it creates all that momentum. And then you're like on the train and you can't get off. I was listening to an Abraham and she was talking about the merry-go-rounds we used to have. And you know, where once it's going, you can't really hop on. If it's spinning really fast, you can't hop on.
Yes.
So you know, it's hard to hop off too. You might break something. So once it starts going, like, you know,
Yeah, it's
you're
really
on
like,
it.
it's a dance.
Yeah.
And as I was telling Karen, I just got my motorcycle license, which I'm super excited for. But it's the first time I've really driven a vehicle with a clutch where you're actually shifting gears and letting out the clutch slowly and balancing it with the brake and the throttle and everything and really feeling the dance of it. And I'm really seeing the dance of being conscious with myself in every present moment. And I love that idea or that phrase that Abraham has, the present moment is your point of power. And that I haven't heard in a few like months probably, but now that you mention it, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, the present moment is the point of power. But the same thing with her merry-go-round. If there's too much momentum going, you've passed the 17-second mark, you've passed the 68-second mark, that fucker's spinning fast. That belief, that momentum, that energy. And it happened today for a moment where I must have let it go more than 68 seconds because I had some emotion going. And I stopped and I was like, I want to see the belief. What do I have to believe is true? And I was like, boom, I see it. And then I was like, and I change it. And it was almost like gears grinding. It was like, like I couldn't believe it in the moment, but in my observation, I was like, oh, I have too much momentum going. Now is not the time to attempt to like reinforce and lock in the new belief. I saw it, that's enough. I can write it down and just let it be and go do something else. But like this dance of being like, if the engine's spinning too fast, you're not gonna drop the gear in and like go complete reverse directions in 1 second. Sometimes you gotta let it wind down.
Yeah. Well, that's so fabulous that you were able to observe that. That's crazy. Like in the middle of it, to observe it. Like what a great place to be.
Thanks, Karen.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool. I've had that happen before. You ever get in an argument with someone and you're like, this is so stupid, but you keep arguing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to get off at this point. Like, or sometimes
Yeah.
that's happened to me and I just start laughing. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know?
And you almost can't help yourself because
Yeah.
you literally, I mean, you always can, but there's so much momentum. And since action and thought is a result of belief and emotion too, you have it running so fast, like it's your own energy is running the show. You've just wound it up so far. But
That reminds me of something. Like one time, my ex-boyfriend and I, we were having a pretend argument over like some food. We were in the car with my kids, like on the way home from camping. And like, oh, you love your French fries more than me. And I was just joking, but we let it spin too far. And I was really getting mad. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever gone through. I'm like, I was really getting mad that he loved these French fries more than me or whatever, it was food. And I'm like, wow, am I that good of an actress? But I think we all are. Like if we say it with conviction, our mind doesn't know the difference between that and reality. So my mind is like, yeah, he loves whatever. It was just so stupid.
He loves the French fry more than
I
you?
know. It
We
was
all love French
so
fries, but
dumb.
Karen.
It was the dumbest thing. And it started out like as play, and it just evolved. It like picked up momentum.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow. So something that ridiculous could take over. Imagine what we're doing unconsciously.
Well, I have such a cool idea to inject. One of the most core elements within this motorcycle riding class was where you look is where you go.
Yes.
And they kept harping on the fact when you're walking at 3 miles an hour, we're used to like looking a couple feet ahead of us. And they go, when you're going 50 miles an hour on a motorcycle, if you do that, you're gonna have no chance of reacting. And all the training exercises that we were riding around this course, they were always like, they were the nicest guys ever, but they were constantly saying, remember, you gotta like look out at the distance, look up at where you're going. You wanna be like way out ahead. And when you make turns, we were doing like through cones and like slalom stuff, and they're like, you gotta be looking at where you're coming out of the turn as you're going into the turn, or you're not gonna make it. And it was so interesting watching myself and other people, especially in the beginning when we're looking down and looking other directions. They'd swing it wide, like they'd put a foot down, they'd do all sorts of stuff happening. And it's the same idea as Abraham, where she's like, they put windshields in the front of the car, not in the floorboards. And she's like, all of you are looking through the floorboards at what is, and that cycles what is. She's like, you have what is itis. You got to get over your what is itis and keep looking up at where you're going. And I was seeing such a great parallel and getting so excited by that.
Oh, I love that. We do it in yoga too. Like in any of the balance poses, they're like, you have to look ahead. If you look at the floor, you're going down there. It's exactly the same.
Hell yes. And then it's just that power of in the moment. It's again, that dance, right? I know the things I'm excited to experience and moving towards. And then the real game seems to be in the day-to-day, those beliefs come up, which
Yeah.
trigger the emotions. And I'm recognizing I can like meditate all day, but at some point I got to get on with living life. And when you're actually living life, the beliefs are gonna come up.
Yep.
And the more I act on my excitement, the more beliefs seem to come up faster and faster. And Bashar notes that that's
Yeah.
part of the benefit and gift of following your excitement, not only getting the excitement, but it's gonna create more contrast to show you your beliefs.
I love that you bring that up because I think so many people have this Pollyanna view. They think, oh, I'm living my highest excitement. Now everything's going to be great. And then they get derailed. Like the moment one of those beliefs comes up, like, this doesn't work, right? Like there's this crap. I'm still feeling like crap about myself, or I'm still believing I'm unworthy or poor or whatever it is. I love that.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, there are certain teachers that I really like, and the ones that don't sugarcoat, the ones that don't promise the moon, the ones that are like, hey, shit's gonna come up, man. It's not gonna be easy. You've chosen this path. It's not an easy one, but it's fun, right?
Yeah, it's way fun. Yeah, Bashar always says that this isn't a kindergarten class like a lot of people suggest. I mean, all truths are true. Sure, this could be a kindergarten class. I buy into the idea that this is a master's class. This is one of the most challenging experiences a consciousness can have among the infinite experiences we pick from. And I see why more and more every day I picked it. I love exploring, and if truly we're non-physical, infinite, indestructible consciousness.
Let's see.
Felt nothing. Nope, went right through me.
How about now?
That's what's up. The illusion's always trying to pull you back in.
I'll be the illusion. Playing the role of illusion today, Karen Seltz.
You're doing it masterfully. I keep envisioning that. I envision dying and crossing over into non-physical and choosing to stay, even though I've had experiences where I know I crossed over and then chose to come right back in. But I see people who are like triggering me to show me my own beliefs. Not right now. You probably have at some point. No, you're very gentle. Actually, I question our friendship because you're so easy to get along with and I like you so much. You're not drawing enough contrast for me. Would you trigger me a little more?
Let me flick you a little lower.
Snap. Better use four
If
fingers.
you're only listening, I flicked him in the arm and then in the nipple. That's it so far, though, as far as you know, because you can only see us from chest up.
That's it.
That's it.
It could be like a newscast where we're not wearing pants.
It could be. I usually have bare feet or flip-flops in a nice outfit for Zoom. Every now and then I stand up, but nobody ever sees my feet. Unless I put my foot behind my head.
Huh. I wonder how many people have seen feet on Zoom. Write us an email if you've seen someone's feet during a Zoom call.
I mean,
if someone's standing on a desk or has their feet up.
If somebody makes a comment about flexibility, sometimes I'll put my leg behind my head.
That's what's up.
You know, that's what's up.
Years of yoga and well earned.
Yes, absolutely.
And consciousness flexibility too, in rolling with it.
Yeah. Did I tell you that there were these studies done that flexibility is all in the mind? That when people are under anesthesia, they're the same. Everybody's flexible under anesthesia, which means our mind is controlling. It's placing the limits on us, physical limits.
100%.
That's fascinating, right?
And the original.
So let's play with it. Let's
let's
put
do
your
it.
foot behind your head. It's just a belief. Do you believe you can do it?
That's the
I
crux
believe
of
you
it.
can do it, John.
Thank you, Karen. I believe I can too.
We could
let's
do
give
it.
it
That
a-
would be a good pose. I'll put my foot up, you put your foot up, and then
We
we'll
high
high
five
five
up
with
there.
our feet
Well, high feet.
above our heads.
That sounds awesome. It's gonna happen.
Today?
Tomorrow. I'm gonna practice, knowing I can.
You don't need to practice. You just do it.
This all checks out with everything I've learned. Everything you're saying checks out. I appreciate that belief.
So let's put it to action, because you were talking about the action steps.
I was.
Come on, John. Can you get it up? He's lifting his foot. He got it up to his nose.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I'm gonna go more and more.
Just don't flip out of the chair, please. I'll hold you.
Shout out to Juan from our meditation group. He told me about a like Cirque du Soleil training type thing, and I went to one class with him where they teach you tumbles and all sorts of these things, and a lot of it is just focusing in on stretching in all sorts of different segments of like one total action.
Wow.
Like a tumble or whatever, you stretch in like all
fun.
the different sequences. Yeah. and gaining that like flexibility to know what you're capable of. But interestingly enough with that too is jogging my memory to the original placebo effect realization, I believe, came out of one of the world wars with morphine, where the doctors ran out of morphine and they told the soldiers, hey, I just injected you with
Oh my
morphine, like
gosh.
you're gonna get woozy or whatever. They just decided to lie. And then they realized a ton of them felt no pain, nothing while they were being surgically
Wow.
operated on. So that
Oh my gosh.
follows suit
Yeah.
perfectly with that idea. Like it's literally all in your mind.
I know. That's why they do things like hypnobirth.
Yeah.
Like women get, hypnotized and they're going through labor and they have 0 labor pains.
Yeah. A lot of the Eastern yogis who I've looked at say that you have nothing to overcome in this reality other than your mind. I mean,
Yeah.
there's truly nothing outside the mind. And the like ego idea, as Bashar explains it, is just kind of like the limited focus you intentionally choose to put on yourself to be able to have a physical experience. But it's
Of
truly
being flicked
unlimited.
by your
Being flicked.
podcast partner.
That's it. The PP.
I did not flick you in the PP. Not this time.
Who's that? That's my PP, my podcast partner. New lingo. You heard it first here. Mark the date. In a year when PP becomes a huge thing on podcasting. We said it first.
Oh, John.
Oh, Karen.
That's hilarious.
Thank you.
I dig it.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. How are you feeling?
I feel amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're ready to put this one in the bed, in the books?
Sure, we'll do it.
All right.
All right.
Peace out, everybody.
Better. Bye. Thanks for watching and listening.
To right
Fucking.
now.
I got to say fucking twice.
Yeah, you did. It's your day. Peace.